are still on the issue of elections, and I think my friends, and I'll ask Ibrahim to go now.
Thank you, Mr. President, for this opportunity to ask you questions. I think the main reason why Nigerians are worried about this postponement of the election is the reason given by INEC, that the postponement was necessitated by the fact that the military are busy fighting the insurgency in the northeast. So they will not be able to handle the election that was scheduled for next Saturday. Now, they asked for 6 weeks within which to be ready. So Nigerians are saying a war that was not won in 6 weeks, in 6 years, how could it be won within 6 weeks? So people are suspecting that there must be something hidden in the whole postponement idea. So how would you clear this?
Okay.
Thank you. Well, I'm not the chief of defense staff that wrote the letter, but as the chief security officer of the Federation, I should have some ideas. There are two things to this, because during the Council of State meeting, we met over this, Council of State, where all former heads of states and former justices of the Federation are involved, with myself, the Vice President, Attorney General, and of course all the governors. They briefed us. They emphasized the issue of security. And no security operative will make everything known to everybody. There is no way they will disclose.
Not to the president.
They may disclose to me a number of things they will not tell others, which I will also not mention. But there are two things of the security. Yes, the Boko Haram aspect is there, but also the threat factor in the country. When INEC came up with the dates for election, there was no so much threat until we started the campaigns. And they see a lot of red points. So for any security chief, you really need to review the security architecture. Otherwise, the country will go into flames. So, elections, you have a lot of problems involved. And especially when the issue of PVC was also being branded as a problem. So INEC, from what Jiga mentioned that they were a bit ready for the election.
A bit?
Yeah, of course, they said they were ready. But to me, I use the word a bit because as to 2011, all Nigerians who were interested in voting had their PVCs. 100% of Nigerians who registered to vote had their PVCs. The day we held that meeting that led to this adjustment of dates, in Lagos, for example, only about 38% had PVCs. That means that if you conduct election in Lagos, 62% of people who want to vote will not vote. Don't you think that there are security implications in that arrangement? See, some other states are 30-something%, some are just about 50%. And these percentages are not uniformly distributed. There are some states where you have up to 68, 70%. Some state 38%. So those who monitor the intelligence services and the security services know the security implications about some of these. The ordinary people may not see it that way. But in terms of the Boko Haram too, because we are very hopeful that in the next weeks, of course, monitor and see from tomorrow, the movement will be much, much faster. The reasons are very obvious. We find it difficult then to really contain the Boko Haram the way we ought to have done, because we did not get the required equipment we needed, some platforms both for the Army and the Air Force. Luckily, we've really gotten substantial quantity of these for now. But one of the key problems is that our neighbors were not too committed. I had several meetings with the president of Chad, for example, who was also willing to send troops, but he said that before he sent troops, AU, African Union, or the United Nations must key in so that whatever he's doing is legal, there's some kind of legal acceptability, backing. There should be legal backing. So we're on that. So until when the AU met, and now AU passed that resolution, so it's now become legal, and that's why Chad has moved in now. Cameroon has moved in. So you really see that there is no hiding place for the Boko Haram again. You see that a place like Adamawa, before this time, we had about 7 local governments that were taken over by the Boko Haram. As we are talking, only Madagali that is remaining. And I believe in the next few days we'll liberate Madagali local government. That means that Adamawa State will be completely removed. Even if it is issues of election, we can conduct elections in Adamawa State. We will move all the IDPs, internally displaced persons, we'll move them back to their communities. If the communities have been burned down by Boko Haram, we'll build tents within their communities so that people will live within their communities so that they can vote within their communities. Yobe State, 2 local governments, and in the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to take over those 2 local governments. And so if they are displaced persons, we'll move them, though the area is sparsely populated for Yobe State because it's the mountainous, very difficult terrain, but there are people who live there. Borno State is where we have more, about 10 local governments, 10 to 12 local governments that are in the hands of the Boko Haram, and in the next couple of weeks also, because we have started effective movement. So even in terms of the Boko Haram, what will happen in the next 4 weeks or so, Nigerians will know that the security situation is serious. But the issue of security is beyond the Boko Haram. Okay. Because within this campaign period, they are either from instigation, which I believe politicians instigating some young people to act in ways that they are not expected. I've campaigned across this country 2007 with late president. I campaigned across this country 2011, both north and south. Even states, governors campaign across. Even states or local governments that may not necessarily vote a governor, the people conduct themselves. But this 2014, 2015, we have seen some traces, very dangerous signals coming up. And no security chief will take it lightly.